Money here on WDBO. We got certified financial planners from the Certified Financial Group. Today it's Dave Balakrishnan and Joe Bert taking your calls on the air, as they've done for decades on WDBO. If you want to join in, 844-580-9326 is the number to call, 844-580-WDBO, or send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. Let's head straight to Muggsy, who's calling in. Muggsy, you're on the air with the Certified Financial Group.
Morning, Muggsy.
Hi, Muggsy.
Thank you. Good morning, Joe and Dave. How we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Really good. Really good.
Good.
Hey, I just wanted to interject something.
Sure.
First of all, thank you. Because of your show, I decided I better get my act together because I'm turning 63 this year. And in 2027, I'll be turning 65 and jumping on Medicare. And because of your education and information, I learned about IRMA and the 2-year look back. But the one thing that wasn't mentioned, and I know it's been a hot topic in previous shows, is I don't turn 63 this year until December. So when I jump on Medicare on December 1st, which will be my enrollment date in 2027, if I have to pay the IRMA penalty, all I have to pay for is 1 month. Because apparently what I've learned doing my research, and maybe you could confirm this, starting in January, it's reset.
Right.
So in January of 28, it'll go to 2026. So I'm thinking, geesh, the most it'll cost me in 2027 is a little over $400 just for 1 month. So if there's anyone else out there who's got birthdays late in the year, maybe that's more incentive to just go hog wild and take out as much as you can from your IRAs that were pre-tax, and pay the tax and get it over with, and then maybe settle back in until RMDs. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I just wanted to share that little perspective.
Well, I think you're right, Muggsy. And once again, this gets back to what Dave and I were talking to early on in the program. This is why it's important that you have some planning done for you so you can plug in the numbers. Obviously, you've done it on your own, but most people don't have the time or the inclination to go through that and see what impact that does. Because we do it, right, Dave, to look at your income on a year-by-year basis and look at how those decisions that you make about your variable income, if you will, impact your overall tax situation. So you bring up a very good point, and IRMA is one of the. Do you know what IRMA stands for, Muggsy?
I don't know. I did it one time.
It's income-related monthly adjustment amount, and that's when your income, what's called your modified adjusted gross income, exceeds a certain amount. Then your IRMA premium kicks in. You pay extra money for your Medicare.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. This income-related adjustment really affects your Part B and Part D premiums. Right? There is a little surcharge of sorts that gets added to those two premiums. Right. Particularly if you're about 106,000 or about 212,000, single or married filing jointly. So it's all tied to your taxes. You're absolutely right. I mean, we were talking about that early, Muggsy, is that tax code, there's some quirks on how you define age. And, in many situations, it's the end of the year. If you reach a certain age, that's what it counts. And so that's exactly where it is. In this particular case, if you are later in the year, your deductions your calculations as you've derived are absolutely right. Your thought process is reasonable. Reinforcing what Joe was talking about, absolutely makes sense to take a pen and paper together, really sit down, think through these scenarios, right? And this is where planning is personal, right? And this is a pet peeve of mine. There's a lot of articles people read and say, well, I can take advice from newspaper articles. The big point is you want to go further. Take a look at it as a personal scenario, really look at it from a personal situation, and then you will be able to get a lot more clarity into some of these things. So planning is important.
The newspaper articles and the things online give you ideas, things to think about, and things to perhaps talk to your advisor about. But it's not necessarily do-it-yourself time. Now, in some cases it works, and in some cases it doesn't work. And how many times we have seen people come into the office a year or two after they've done the big Roth conversion and say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize what I just did to myself.
Absolutely.
And of course, you can't go back and reverse that. So before you jump out of the airplane, you want to be sure that if you got a parachute and you know exactly where you're going to land. Otherwise, you'll find out you're going to land in the middle of the swamp. So,
Yep.
Muggs, I understand you were in one of our workshops just recently. I saw you on the guest list. Did you make it?
Yeah, and guess what? I'm gonna go to your place next Saturday.
Oh, great! At Village on the Green. Great, great.
Well, it's been on my to-do list. I really want to check that place out. And actually, Joe, the reason I'm actually thinking of taking a bunch of money this year is because I'm considering moving, and I just thought, options are good, so I'm checking out all my options. So
Oh,
maybe
great.
I'll see you next
good.
week.
Well, please come up and say hello. Look forward to seeing you next Saturday.
Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome, Muggsy. Thanks for calling. I hear the bumper music. Josh, take it away.
You got it. If you want to join the conversation, you have to be next in line if you call right now. 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. You can send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today.
with the Certified Financial Group.
So I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have. That's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, or we're planning tomorrow, today. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals acting as fiduciaries have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town.
I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries and providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to
call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands
And we also have the sunshine of the 9 o'clock hour on the radio here in Central Florida. That is On the Money, where you can join the conversation. We have two certified financial planners from the Certified Financial Group, Joe Bert and Dave Balakrishnan, answering your calls, walking us through another great hour of radio here on the airwaves of WDBO. If you want to call in, pick up the phone right now, dial 844-580-9326, 844-580 WDBO, or send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. Back to the topic of the day, gentlemen, the big, beautiful bill.
All right. Yeah, that's it. And we have an acronym here in the office for the big, beautiful bill. It's a 0 triple B, one big, beautiful bill. That's what it is. Or O triple B.
O triple
O
B.
triple B, one big,
I
beautiful
think
bill.
junk bonds are also called BBB. Was it?
That's correct. Yeah. That's right.
Let's just not hope we're not foreshadowing our future. I hope.
Okay.
Right.
So what else we have there in the O triple B there?
So we'll talk about the big beautiful bill, right? We spoke a little bit about the permanency of tax laws, but obviously even in this bill there are a few items that have been included that are definitely temporary, right? They're going to be there for the next 4 years, 3 or 4 years, depending on when they come on, right? So we'll talk about a couple of those things that is really valid only from 2025 till 2029 in some of these examples, right? So there's 3 items that maybe I want to touch on. So the first one is if you are in a profession where your income constitutes tips, right? So in this scenario, if you are in as explained in the example earlier, Paula, she's a hairstylist. There's tips is a significant portion of her income.
Yep.
In that situation, as long as she, as a household, they're below 150, they pretty much can take $6,000 of that taxable, tip income tax free. So I think that's one of the things that's really there for the next 3-4 years, 4 years. So that is income on tips, right? It's one of the things that was discussed in the campaign trail, and so that's in there at least for the duration of this administration, right? The other one, moving on to the next one, is the overtime, right? So again, this is a bill that actually has up to $25,000 in overtime income, right, for joint filers, can be deducted from your tax bill. Again, the phase out start at 150 for individual, and then in this one the phase outs for joint filers is at 300,000 in both of them, actually, in both the tip income and in the overtime income. If you're single, the phase out starts at 150. If you're filing joint, the phase out starts at 300. But yeah, I think the point is, tip income and overtime income deductions, they are available. There are some technicalities to how the overtime income is calculated. But again, if you are in professions that you're already receiving these kinds of income, there's a little bit of a windfall, at least for the next 3-4 years, where you can take that away. And then
I want to clear up something. I think maybe I probably misunderstood you, but I want to be sure that our listeners know that tip income up to $25,000 is not taxable.
Correct.
Yes.
It's a deduction.
Yes.
You take that off completely.
Right. So you have $25,000 of really tax-free income if you're a tip. So that's huge.
Yeah, that's a huge one. Absolutely. If you're in a profession of that kind, or if you are in a profession where you can get more of it as overtime or as tip income, yes, it's a huge break, at least for the next 3-4 years. Definitely, absolutely accessible. So again, talk to your tax person, or reach out to your plan advisor. They can probably guide you through some of those conversations. There's other big thing, right? If you are, we will get to the call. We do have a caller, Linda. Right after this point, we'll get to her. And the last one I wanted to touch on, this temporary item, is the auto loan. So if you're in the market for a car, right now, and if you were to buy a car that is American assembled, I think it's going to do that based on VIN numbers most likely. If you are able to purchase a car that was made in America, you are able to deduct the interest on that auto loan for the next 3-4 years. So I think it's again a couple of steps to get to. You need to buy that car after 2025. The car has to be assembled, made in the U.S. Then you get to take off up to $10,000 in auto loan interest. It doesn't qualify for refinancing. It doesn't qualify for any cars that were purchased in December 2020, last year. Has to be bought after January 19th, 2025, I believe. So there's a couple of steps, but there's definitely a few breaks, definitely advantageous items, at least for the next 2 to 3 years. So maybe we'll then go to Linda.
Yep. Linda, what's up?
Sir, do I need to turn my radio down?
Yes, please.
Okay. I retired, and they took out $7,000. So they took out $7,600 and some dollars out of my retirement. So what paper do I need? What kind of paper do I need for the IRS when it comes to filling out the IRS papers?
Well, you'll get a 1099. This is a distribution, I presume, from your 401k or a pension of some sort?
My retirement.
Your retirement plan. Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So because you didn't do a rollover to another IRA, they're required to withhold. They're required to withhold 20% of that. And depending on what your overall tax situation is, you may get a refund of some or all of that when you file your taxes next year. So you will get a 1099, and you'll have to fill out the appropriate paperwork. And if in fact it shows that you didn't owe much or any of that tax, you will get a refund.
Yep, exactly. So the timing of that document is more like, I would say, I believe after January 30th, but before February end or so next year. So you won't see that 1099 R that comes in typically in the new year after the end of this calendar year.
Right. So look in your mailbox the first quarter of next year. That 1099 is what you'll need to file with your taxes.
Will it come in the mail?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it will.
And if it doesn't?
Call your company, and then usually you call your benefits company wherever you call to be able to get this check, issued to you. If you call them, they can usually tell you how to go about getting that, or if you needed a duplicate or whatever.
And it doesn't come from your company; it comes from your plan administrator.
Right.
So whoever was managing your plan for you, that's where it comes from. It doesn't come from your company.
Yeah.
So it comes from the school board?
Oh yeah, yes. Well, no, it won't come from the school board.
So usually, again, which county are you in, Linda? So I guess
Lake County.
Lake County. I'm imagining that's Equitable might have been the plan administrator usually.
Right.
So usually they have a third party, and that's kind of administering all these programs for the school board. So they would essentially send out the letter. You should get it from them. If not, like I said, call the benefits number, the number that you call to get that check. They'll guide you through on how to get to that document again.
That help you, Linda?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thanks for the call, and have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I see we got a text question for in there. Josh, take it away.
You got it. If you want to call in, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or we can send an open mic in using the free WDBO app. And
Before you get to that, Dave reminded me there's another point or two on the OBBB here that
Absolutely.
I kind of shut him off here. So take it away, Dave.
So yeah, we'll just talk about one more topic. Again, this is for some of the people we work with and others in case you're charitably inclined, right? We work with a lot of people who give money to their church, who give money to, interests of their choice, maybe a medical charity of some kind. There's one of the things that's coming in effective 2026. This one is one of those things that is not active for 2025, right? It really comes active in 2026. You can give up to $2,000. Again, $1,000 if you're filing single. If you're filing joint, you can give up to $2,000 if you're filing joint, and this is a deduction that you can take above the line. So essentially, you're able to give to charity. I mean, this was, during the COVID time, 2021, there was like a $600 limit where you could give to charity and then take that off your taxes. So that's back in the big OBBB bill. And essentially, it's up to $2,000. So the takeaway is, if you're charitably inclined, if you're giving money on a regular basis, and if it's around this $2,000, save your receipts. And these are for cash contributions, not for I gave away stuff to the Goodwill, my old furniture and my old clothes. That doesn't count. These are cash contributions up to $2,000. You can save the receipts and essentially take that off your taxes as well. So this is effective 2026. So again, if there's charitably inclined, there are some other changes in this big bill, that there's some conversations to be had with your planner. How you give it, if you're giving it from your IRAs, again, one of the things we talk about in workshops, these are the qualified charitable contributions, QCDs. So again, how you give them can have an impact on your taxes. Call out to us. So again, talk to your planner, talk to your CPA, and there's definitely a lot of things that is affected in this tax code. So I guess we have another caller there.
Yeah, Josh.
You got it. We got Milton calling in. Milton's got a question about the big, beautiful bill. And
Morning, Milton.
His Social Security.
You're in New Smyrna. How's the weather out there this morning?
Sunny, sort of. Yeah, potential clouds. How are you folks? Thanks for taking the call.
So far, so good. Thanks for your call. How can we help you?
Yeah,
we have an open mic as well.
To get a pension, and I get Social Security. And every year since I can remember, because I tried to get ahead and save, I get taxed because my income exceeds a certain amount. Did that change in the big, beautiful bill? I'm sorry if you're repeating yourself.
Well, it's changed somewhat because I presume you're a senior, so you get that.
Right.
You'll get that $6,000 deduction. So that'll save you some money right there.
Okay.
And if you're married filing a joint return, that's $12,000. So, but the tax brackets have not changed. However, for you as a senior, you're going to get up to $12,000 if you're married filing a joint return.
So Milton, how old? I mean, would you happen to know your tax bracket, Milton? 12%.
22%.
22%.
Does that sound right?
Okay, that's
Yep,
okay. Okay.
yep.
So yeah, so again, so 22%, you are probably, again, close to that 150 line, right? Like I was talking about
Are
earlier.
you married filing a joint return?
No, if you can find me a wealthy wife.
Oh, so you're single. So you're single.
You're
Okay.
single. So that's going
You're
to be,
103,000.
yeah. So
Yeah, you'll qualify.
yeah, you'll qualify. Again, if you can keep that income below that 150, you should be okay. You'll get the $6,000 deduction. I mean, it's not quite Social Security taxes are, Social Security is taxed, but then you get back about $6,000 in the senior deduction that's effective there, at least for the next 4 years, right? So I think that's something that you'd be eligible for. Again, talk to your tax professional if you use one. And yes, you'll at least have the $6,000 break if you can keep it below that thresholds.
Okay. I thought President Trump said he was going to stop taxing Social Security. Am I wrong on that?
Well, he
Did I
tried.
hear that?
No, you're 100% right. He tried, but it's got to go through Congress, and there was a lot of give and take in that bill. And unfortunately, it's not tax free, but there is some breaks for seniors up to $12,000 if you're married filing a joint return, and your modified adjusted gross income is under $150,000. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. You kind of got to break not Social Security directly.
Well, I agree with everything you said, but isn't it a shame because you're forced to pay Social Security, right?
Right.
And then it's your own money, and then they tax it. They tax you again when you retire.
Yeah. Well, at least we're fortunate that we have it. Let's hope they can continue because many people depend on it, Milton, as you well know.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. We appreciate it. Enjoy the beach. So I see you said we have a open mic.
We did, and it might be along the same lines. And there's a bit, it ends abruptly, but that's just the limitations of the open mic. So again, if anybody sends an open mic in for the show, try to keep it about 20 seconds or less so we don't miss any possible endings.
All right, let's see what we have.
The gist of it here. Here we go.
Hello, Joe and Dave. I'm calling from the Villages. I'm 77, and my live-in girlfriend is 77 as well. We both own our home and everything else together. We're not married. And I'm in ill health, and I'm planning for the future, and was wondering if marriage would be a good option for us to make sure that she gets my Social Security when I pass. I know there's a 9-month wait. If there's any tax advantages.
Yeah, there's it. When you're eligible for the survivor benefits, you've got to be married for a certain period of time. A deathbed marriage does not work.
Right, exactly. And I again, there's a lot of nuances to consider there.
But give us a call on Monday and give you the particulars to it. I can do the research here during the break. But I know that there's a length of time that you have to be married before you can qualify.
It's one year, I think.
Yeah, I think it's longer than that. So, but we'll let you know. And sorry for your ill health, but that's we'll try to figure it out for you. Good question.
Thank you so much, Joe and Dave. If you want to join the conversation, one more segment coming up after this break, 844-580-9326, or send in your open mic using the free WDBO app. We also have Charles Curry standing by off the air, and that will be taking place a little bit after the show, so a little more time for you to get your question in order. But write down this number, 407-869-9800. Again, that's Charles Curry with the Certified Financial Group, probably not too far away from Joe and Dave live on the air. He's taking your calls off the air at 407-869-9800. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning today with the Certified Financial Group. Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. Inside that app, you also have the option to send in your open mic to the team at Certified Financial Group. If it comes in after the show, I can always push save and play it again next week for you to tune in and hear your question live on the air, just like so.
Hello, Joe and Dave. I'm calling from the Villages. I'm 77 and my live-in girlfriend is 77 as well. We both own our home and everything else together. We're not married. And I'm in ill health and I'm planning for the future and was wondering if marriage would be a good option for us to make sure that she gets my Social Security when I pass. I know there's a 9-month wait. If there's any tax advantages.
Well, he's 100% right. It is a 9-month wait. I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah.
But it's a 9-month wait for survivor benefits and a 1-year wait for spousal benefits. So yeah, you're
absolutely
100% right.
Obviously, you're well informed in terms of the survivor benefit eligibility. It's 9 months. I mean, again, from a taxes point of view, obviously, I'm hoping that you've always kind of looked through your taxes and opted to choose individually, staying as girlfriend and obviously, hopefully you've done some more math around, the benefits of single versus married filing jointly, right? The U.S. tax code definitely there are some pros for, higher limits and so on for filing married, but then there is also other phase outs and other things that come in. So it's a little bit more nuanced in terms of calculation. That's what I was alluding to. But for purposes of your Social Security benefit, yes, that would work. To be able to get the survivor benefit, but I would say it's a little bit more involved. So have that calculation done, and that might help you make that decision in a clearer way. Social Security, there is benefits. There may be other tax considerations that you have thought of earlier that might be phased out or whatever. So
the other consideration that you have is how is your the home held? Is it tenants by the entirety? Tenants in common or joint tenancy with renter survivorship. If you have tenants in common, you may have a problem when you pass on and that your share going to your new wife, it would be. So you want to be sure that the house is, if your intention is to leave it to your new wife, you want to have a joint tenancy with renter survivorship. It's presumed in Florida that it's tenants by the entirety, which is the same thing. But
definitely a longer estate planning conversation.
Yes, but you want to be sure that it's not as tenants in common if your intention is to pass it on to your wife, unless she's in your will as your survivor for the house, but you can eliminate probate if you set it up that way. So just sit down with a certified financial planner and be sure that everything, all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted as you're facing the last chapter of your life. I'm sorry for your illness, but we wish you well. And I see we're up against the bottom of the hour here. I want to mention that once again, next Saturday, hope to see some of our listeners at Village on the Green, and we'll be doing an in-depth study of things we talked about today on retirement planning and taking money out of your retirement account and what that means for you. It's going to be absolutely free. From 9 o'clock, we'll do our program live. You're welcome to be part of the live studio audience. Then at 10 to 11:30, Gary Abley will be doing his workshop, which is always well attended. And then from 11:30, we're providing a free lunch for all the folks. So come on out and see where I'm living here now in Longwood. It's a great life that I have, a continuous retirement care community where I'm taken care of for the rest of my life. And it's a great lifestyle. It's not a nursing home, folks. I can guarantee you it's not. These people are, anyway, I don't want to get into it. But I hope to see you there next Saturday. Go to our website, financialgroup.com. That's financialgroup.com, and learn all about what Dave and I and the 15 other certified financial planners do here at Certified Financial Group. And I hear the bumper music there, Josh, so we're ready for you to take it away.
Thank you so much. Linda just called back, so she wanted a little bit more information. So I forwarded her along the off-air number where Charles Curry is standing by. And if you also have a question, maybe for Charles Curry or the team at Certified Financial Group, I want you to call 407-869-9800. That's 407-869-9800. You just listen to On the Money. We're planning tomorrow with the Certified Financial Group.